welcome back to my channel. My name is Yani if you're new, and welcome to another episode recap of The Bachelor. There's plenty to talk about, so let's dive in. At the beginning of the episode, they show the rose ceremony and somebody's kind of breathing a little bit heavy. It happens to be Sarah, and she walks to the back with Bree just because she can't breathe. She's saying that she's about to pass out, and then they just kind of cut to the beginning, and that's where it all starts. So it's pretty dramatic at the beginning already. Then they show Matt running and then working out. Then they show him in the shower, and I guess it's a pretty big deal because I've been seeing a lot of people asking about the shower scene. I don't know if that's something that happens on The Bachelor. Somebody let me know in the comments down below. Then they start showing the scenery, and Sarah makes a comment about what a beautiful place it is to fall in love. And I couldn't agree more. It's so stunning, like I mentioned in my last video. Then the girls pretty much know where they're staying, and of course Queen Victoria has an issue with it. She of course has to make a comment about it's her kingdom and Matt's her king, you know, just being the dramatic person that she is. Then Chris Harrison comes to let the girls know that they're gonna go on dates. And of course the first date goes to Bree, and I was very excited because I really like her. And I think it was pretty obvious from the last episode that they really hit it off pretty well. On the date, they ride ATVs, and I think that's so much fun. What a creative date. I think that's just so adventurous. I've never been on an ATV, but I definitely want to have a date with Chase and I on one. I think they just look like so much fun. So there's a moment where Bree tries to be cute and she hops on the back of Matt's seat. Of course, it just happens to flip over. Luckily, nobody got hurt, but I just thought that was so funny. Then later on, they go to a wood fire hot tub where Matt takes off his shirt and just chops wood. I thought that was kind of cheesy, but I'm here for it, so I thought that was funny too. Then they share their first kiss, and it was just very romantic. Then in the nighttime, they have their dinner date. Bree is wearing this beautiful white silk dress with a leather jacket over it. I didn't realize how young she was. She's only 24, but I feel like she's so mature. Sometimes I feel like when the girls are a little bit younger on the show, they're just in it for the wrong reasons or to become influencers, just better opportunities. But I just feel like she's there for all the right reasons, and like I said, she's a very mature 24-year-old. Then they get deep with their conversations, and she lets him know that her mom had her at 13. So her mom's very young, and they also get into conversations about her dad, and they just both relate. I just thought that was a very good connection. You could tell that he could relate to part of her situation. Then they end the night with fireworks, and of course all of the girls can see them. And this whole time that Bree and Matt are on their date, Victoria is just complaining the entire time. I get it. It's a show that's very unusual because you're sharing one person with a bunch of other people, but that's what you signed up for. Do you think every single girl there likes the idea that he's with somebody else or he's kissing somebody else? Of course not, but they're not going to be very immature about it and complain and not be happy for them. I just think she's very immature, and she just sounds like a little brat. I just feel so bad that they had to endure that the entire day. I understand that you're there for love, you're not there to make friends, but at least be nice to people. You don't have to ask how their day is, just be polite. That's it. I don't know, she's just such a brat to me. So on the group date, there's 18 of them, so that means 18 people have to fight for his attention. That's a lot of people on a date. I felt so bad for these girls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. When the girls first get there, the first thing they see is Matt in his tuxedo, and it turns out they have to do a bridal shoot with Matt and pick their dresses in 10 minutes. I am somebody that gets ready pretty quickly, but if it comes to picking an outfit, I take forever, unfortunately. So I could only imagine how chaotic that must have been for all the girls, especially a wedding dress, because he's gonna have an idea of what you look like in a wedding dress, so of course you want it to look perfect. So they're all taking their pictures, and my favorite one was Jasenia when her and Matt like locked lips, they kissed. That was such a cute picture. I really liked that one. And then it's Mari's turn. poor girl, she's always interrupted. Last episode, she was interrupted with the dildo, and now Victoria, of course, wants her time with Matt. I'm glad that Mari stood her ground and kind of told her just to stay on the side for a little bit because she wasn't done. So kudos to her because I would be pissed. Then it's Victoria's turn, and oh my god, it was so cringe. She has a garter on her leg and she wants Matt to take it off. And in weddings, I'm not sure if you know this, but the groom will take it off with his teeth, and luckily he did not buy into that and he just kind of took it off. But it was just so cringy and awkward. Yikes, I don't know. It was just cringe. That's the only word that I can think of. Then Chris Harrison shows up. You know that there's something going on when he shows up. And I felt so bad for some of the girls because not all of them got to take pictures. I really wanted to see what Rachel and him would look like right next to each other, you know, with their gown and his tuxedo. So he lets them know that he's going to split them up into 2 teams. And there's just a bunch of wedding objects and they have to dip it in paint and tag their opponent. And I guess there's 2 big hearts. You have to capture the heart, and you know that team's the one that wins time with Matt in the end, and the other girls have to go home. Of course it's gonna get catty. There's paint everywhere. Matt's got paint. He wasn't even a part of it. It was so crazy. The ref is just hanging out, not doing anything. Poor MJ gets a purse to the face. I felt so bad for her. At first, the red team did come out with a good strategy, but once the game started, that kind of just went out the window because nobody knew what they were doing. Then MJ comes out of nowhere and wins it for the red team. She really deserved that win, especially getting the purse to the face. And Mari got most valuable bride, so she was on the losing team, so she got to join them. Of course, the losing team, they're all bummed. They're so drained from the day that they had. And Katie, I feel like, was the most upset. Like, she was very emotional. It was just nice to see her be a little bit more vulnerable and not just so funny all the time. He's having his one-on-one time with all the girls. The one that I felt very strongly about their connection was him and Lauren. They share the same values, have the same beliefs. You can just tell that they really connected, and he really liked that. I definitely think that they are a great match. Then he has his time with Victoria and they're talking about how competitive she got, and he had mentioned something about he loved that about her. Her eyes lit up as soon as she heard the word love. I'm like, you don't say that to somebody crazy, because she probably thinks that he already told her that he loves her. Yeah, I don't know. It was just really funny. Like, her eyes just lit up. And he wanted to go be with the other girls, and she asked for a kiss. Matt is such a nice guy. You can tell that he was not really into it, but he still did it. And that was just very awkward to watch as well. The next date is with Sarah, and I love Sarah because she's very family oriented. She seems like just the sweetest person. And the date card did say the sky is the limit. They're on a small plane. He's kind of cuddled up to her the whole time, which is really sweet, and he was just trying to make her feel safe. Then they have kind of a little picnic in the woods where they have a drink, and he's trying to get to know her a little bit more, and she's obviously holding back about her dad, and he can tell that something's bothering her or she's not saying something. But I'm glad she felt comfortable enough during their dinner date to let him know everything that was going on with her dad, and the fact that she had quit her job to be his caregiver. What a selfless thing to do. She always said that her dad took care of her when she was little, and she wanted to do the same thing for him. Sarah, we must protect her at all costs. And that makes Matt realize, you know, wow, she left her family and her dad to be here with me. So he asks her what he can do to make him feel like he's the guy for her. What a sweetheart. He's literally the nicest person. I just thought, what a gentleman. That was so nice that he had said that to her. Swoon. Then they share their first kiss. And okay, I felt so bad because after they kissed, I saw something on his nose and I wasn't sure what it was. And then they kissed again, and he had her powder on his nose. I felt so bad. I mean, I know that happens, but I don't know. I was just like, oh no. It just felt so bad for her. Then they end their date in the hot tub and kiss some more. It was definitely a very sweet date. Then it's the rose ceremony, and Abigail has my favorite dress of the night, and it's a Lovers and Friends maxi dress, and it's in black. It's so stunning. I loved it. It was definitely my favorite dress. And I believe Lauren had this lavender halter dress that was very form-fitting. That was also my favorite as well. So Marilyn is one of the girls that didn't get a date, unfortunately. And to let her know that he was still thinking about her, Matt had got her this orchid plant, and those happened to be her favorite. I thought that was very sweet of him to let her know that he was still thinking about her even though she wasn't on any of the dates. It just shows that he's such a gentleman and he listens to what the girls are saying. So that's very respectable, and I really like that about him. Then Victoria has her one-on-one with Matt, and she lets him know that she's sleeping on the couch because her roommate Marilyn is this horrible person who's being a bully to her, completely lies to him, and kind of makes him question his feelings and who she is as a person, which I thought that was very malicious. Marilyn had not been rude to her or bullied her at all. So then he calls Marilyn to the side again just to talk to her, and she could tell something's off with his energy. You can just tell like he is off, like his vibe is off. So he tells her what Victoria says, and she's just kind of having a hard time defending herself and also having a hard time believing that she would even lie like that and make her look bad. There's always that one person in every Bachelor or Bachelorette show that has to ruin it for everybody with stupid drama, and I just felt so bad for Marilyn and for the girls that didn't have time with him. Then once Marilyn's done talking with Matt, she pulls Victoria to the side, and of course Victoria's being very difficult. She doesn't want to step outside because it's cold, and then the girls just decide to kind of leave the couch just because they want to let them, hash it out or whatever. And again, she's being very difficult. She doesn't want to sit anywhere near her. She doesn't let her talk. She's just being very rude to her. So, I mean, I would just kind of wash my hands and walk away, because with Victoria, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to get to her, and she's just going to be who she is and not want to resolve issues like an adult. I feel like on this show, you have to let the Bachelor or the Bachelorette know right away if there's an issue with someone, because once that person brings it up and they're lying, it just makes you look bad and they look at you differently. So I just feel very bad for Marilyn, because it's just, yeah, you can just tell Matt's kind of turned off by her. Then it's time to give the roses, and one by one he's giving the girls the rose, and you kind of go back to the beginning where you start hearing somebody breathe heavily, and it's Sarah. Bree pulls her to the side and just kind of has her sit on the ground just to kind of catch her breath, relax. She says that she's about to pass out, she can't see. So Matt goes to check on her, they call the medic, and it pretty much just ends there on a cliffhanger. We don't know what happens. I really, really hope that Sarah doesn't leave, but I kind of have a feeling that she's going to. And in the beginning credits where they show Matt sitting on the floor like sad, I feel like that might be the reason. It's because she leaves, but who knows. So what did you guys think about the episode? Leave a comment down below. I would love to discuss it with you guys. It's a very crazy season already, and it's only episode 2. Do you guys like my mug? It says there's a chance this is champagne, but could be, who knows. I'm going to close the video out here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!